I mean, I want to talk about this whole Diddy situation, man.
He's in it for, so the indictments are racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution.
It lets me know, a lot of the things that I believe are true.
I feel like if I was like a celebrity and everything, I have to make sure I have a good publicist to train me and shit for these situations to just be like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
We're not even.
To give you a piece of my mind.
From Normal Bros, and we back at it again. First of all, I'm gonna need you to tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a mother effing friend to follow and subscribe to your boys. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other podcast platforms as well. You can catch us on YouTube and TikTok. That's Far From Normal Podcast. Make sure you type that into a search engine and see the boys on those clips. We got everything for you. We got the website, www.farfromnormalpodcast.com. We got all the links up there. Make sure you check it out. Of course, YouTube. We're on Instagram as well. That's far_from_normal_podcast. Check it out. You already know. It's your boy Fuzzy Vision. I see the world clear. And I see the future. And the future is bright. You already know. Fuzzy Vision with 2 N's. If you have any likes, dislikes, rebuttals, or you want to be on the podcast, hit your boy up. Sonny, drop the handle, baby.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Sonny Frames. You can catch me on the gram at Sonny, SONNY, Frames, double S at the end. Make sure when you do check out my Instagram page, check out my stories, because I usually post a lot of stuff that has to do with motivation, inspiration, chasing your dream, and execution. So let's not forget, any dream that you're trying to achieve, the only way that you'll ever achieve it is through execution and putting a plan to motion. So make sure that you don't just stay in the dream world, and make sure you make it a reality.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
And Fuzzy, let's get him. I just find it hilarious how, just how people can just make anything go viral.
Yeah.
And then really capitalize off that, make a lot of money off that stuff. The whole thing with eating the dogs, eating the cats, Springfield, that whole thing. Just imagine, he's making money off that track that he made that went viral. He actually went to Germany and made so much money off it. So
He's just making that step, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what I learned from situations like that is that as a creator, you can never be ashamed of what you're creating. Because you never know what people will gravitate
My boy just
towards.
said this to me yesterday. He's like, bro, you got to start making funny music. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, people do that.
He's
yeah,
like, bro, you got to make funny music. And
but when you say funny music, what are you talking
like
about?
exactly what we were just listening
okay.
to. Just something catchy. Something that will go.
But I don't even think the guy that made that track was looking for it to go viral. He was just like, he just put it together, because he knew that catch line was something that was ridiculous, and everybody as a whole thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he made it even more ridiculous by making the track out of it.
But you're even saying Wagwan Dalaya, right?
Yeah.
He was just having fun with it, right?
Exactly,
just
right?
It's kind of, you just don't know,
Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know. So I would definitely tell anybody that's a creator, honestly, put your stuff
just
out
put your
there.
shit out, yeah.
Just put it out. And, if you keep making enough stuff, something's going to hit. That's what I believe. You don't know which one it's going to be, because don't you hear guys that are rappers or R&B artists when they talk about how certain tracks that they made that they enjoyed wasn't what people really enjoyed. It would be a different track in their catalog, and then they'll be like, okay, no, this was something that people gravitated toward, but it was not something that they enjoyed personally. You ever see that?
Yeah.
It happens
all the time. All the creators always
where
talk
their
about
single is not the track that they expect it to be.
Even artists too. They're like, yo, I hate that song, but it became the most popular.
Exactly.
I wanted to delete that, and then they're like, nah, it's a big record.
Yeah, and then, but that brings me to the whole Diddy situation. Now that we're talking about rappers and what was going on, right?
How do you stay consistent with content?
Diddy.
No, but you
How do
content
I-
in general. Yeah, not the.
Oh.
But content in general, like how, like
How do I stay consistent?
yeah.
I do what my strengths are. So I try and stay within the realm of where my strengths are. So that means fitness. Fitness is a prime thing in my life where it's
Yeah.
like just lifestyle. It's just lifestyle based. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not faking the funk. That's what I do. I live and breathe it.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
you're living and breathing something,
Yeah.
putting out that level of content is not hard for you. I think the hardest part of putting out content is when you're filming it yourself. Because I remember I had a friend that was kind of filming content of his own.
Yeah.
And he would just use his phone like different angles to catch him doing certain things. And then I started mimicking that and started thinking of how can I create a storyline that people can resonate with and also inspire people at the same time. But how about yourself? How do you create content? How do you stay relevant? What do you?
No, because I was in a flow state, right? I was
Okay.
making outfits and everything, and you know what? Like in my TikTok, I actually have so much views and everything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was bringing the clothes into my gym, doing the wardrobe, but I'm like, yo, I'm still working the gym. And then part of me is like, shit, I got shit to do with work in the gym. I'm gonna hold this off. And then I stopped, but I was doing it for like a week, 2 weeks. And I saw like it was popping off, but like even little things was popping off. Like I would show people basic dance moves to do in the club that
Okay.
you can do at the club, right?
Yeah.
And that was actually more popping than my outfits. So I was
Okay.
like, oh wait, there's something
there.
here. So I was like, but I think I stopped because I'm like, yo, this is a lot of work. I got to get back to my gym. But then it was just like, it's still there though. It's still like, it still creeps up on me, but it's like, it's there, you know?
So
So
what-
that I
yeah.
stopped. I was like, yo, this is a lot of work. I got to get back to my gym. So that's why I asked, like, were you consistent? Because like, there's a part of my life there that's like, oh shit, like, you know.
Well, I can tell you one thing you can do. You could definitely make content, but don't put it out. Just add up all that content, and then when you're ready to drop, then drop it. Like
That's hard to say though. Like sometimes what happens when you hoard content is that sometimes you overanalyze your content too, right? So like you're gonna start looking at it and be like, I didn't really like how I sounded, or I didn't really like the outfit, because time is changing, time is going on, right? So you might not like how you sounded or how you looked or what you were on at that hairstyle, whatever. Like you might not necessarily like that. So this is what happens with musicians, for example. If you're in a studio, right, and you make music, you recorded, say, 100 songs or whatever, 50 songs, right? And then you say to yourself, oh, I have a lot of songs. You know what? Let me hold on to it, though, because you never put it together for an album or anything like that. But then you say, okay, when I'm ready, when my shit's together, I'm going to release it. And then now it's time to release. But months have passed. The topics have changed.
100%.
Relevancy has changed. Your mood has changed. So, like, you might not feel comfortable releasing club music when you're in a maybe depressive state now. Maybe you went through something,
shit, yeah.
breakup. Maybe, you had a pregnancy scare, something different like happened in your life, and now you're like, this is no longer relevant. So it's tough to kind of hoard onto like content, but I understand what you're saying in terms of having content ready, just because at least you're in the process of creating.
well, movie.
Like especially
No, go ahead.
Like you said, the process of creating, like especially for somebody upcoming, you know what I mean, maybe just starting to do whatever it is that they're partaking in.
Yeah.
That is a good skill, you know what I mean, to get themselves ready for when they do drop. They already have things ready and everything is set the way how they want it. You know what I mean? Because I knew one homeboy and he had his music just certain. His catalog was just nice. Everything was crazy, amazing. There's visuals. It looked crazy. Everything was nice. It was well put together. And he was just waiting for the perfect moment to start dropping them. But he was going to drop them strategically. So 1 month here, then another month there. And he had everything. He actually did it to his acquired taste. Like every song that had a video to it was like everything that was meaningful to him. And he had his little plan he was gonna do, So if you're somebody starting off, you know what I mean, that is a good strategy, to have a little vault, a little bag filled of content.
Absolutely.
Ready to,
Yeah, absolutely.
ready to
I agree
go.
to that.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're not rushing anymore.
Exactly.
Right? You have the time to prepare and plan, and you're not looking for the crowd to judge everything right at once. So I think it's a lot harder when you're dropping content like day by day, because if you're going through the motion of going to work, you have your other stuff that you're taking care of.
It's much more harder.
It's so much
Way
harder, man.
Because like even like with me, I'm on the music, right?
Yeah.
So with music dropping, and not only that, it's like because my little cousin, he's the one that partakes in it, right? So I gotta have to deal with his timing of stuff and dealing with when we're dropping certain stuff, the license of certain things when we're dropping them and shit. So it's just like you deal with a lot of those things, and just like what you said, to work a crazy job. You know what I mean? Very crazy. It's tiring, you know what I mean? And time consuming. So when you get home, you might not be feeling to drop the content that you had. And sometimes Friday could turn into next Friday, or and then it, you know what I mean? It goes on. And it gets crazy sometimes like that. So
it does. No, it definitely gets crazy.
Does.
But see, I was watching this thing on TikTok, or not even TikTok, YouTube. There's so much shit that like pumps out like motivational stuff or like information out. And I think it was like, who was it? Steve Jobs. I think he was talking about like his company does good because we're quick on decision making. And he's saying a lot of people aren't quick to make decisions, right? And the difference between a successful person and unsuccessful person is like urgency. Like you have to be... You have to be intentional, and you have to be like, you have to work with urgency. You got to work with some type of pace. You can't be too laid back and say, you know what, I can hold on to this and I can just chill and we'll take our time with shit, because time is of the essence as well, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes you miss the moment you're in. So you have to, that's the only thing I say when it comes to, you know, hoarding music, or you put in a better way. Like obviously I'm saying hoarding, you said having it in the vault.
It's strategic.
I understand that. Like
but I hear what
having it in
you're
the
saying
vault,
as well. That
because
way too,
but
though.
again, I think it's kind of a combination of the two. You're gonna
It
have
is.
to have
It
you're
is,
gonna have to have some work in the making, and then you're gonna have to have some work you can rely on. So while you're
Yes.
making
Okay,
your
yeah.
shit, your new shit, you still have something you might be able to release, keep people interested and stuff like that.
So that's even a smarter tactic, where you're constantly releasing, but you're releasing older content that you already made. So as people are watching that content, you're making content at the same time. So it never looks like you have a gap, right? Because there's always something that's filling in the gaps. It's always filling in the gaps, but at the same time, you have more time to do what you need to do and also drop it. And also, I think a lot of people don't understand the process of delegation, where you're sending your stuff to other people to take care of like the drops of when you're gonna be dropping music or dropping videos or like creating shorts or TikTok videos. That helps with the process, and also you can now use your time for other stuff, like to make money. Because you were mentioning, because you tell us about like what you do. Because you always, I know you do a lot of stuff, but it's better that James says it himself.
Yeah. Damn. All right. So just like a fitness gym owner. But other than that, just man, always doing something, right? So like I've been doing dance classes. I've been going to other ship as well too. Running, playing soccer. So I'm at the gym. And then like I said, right, always choosing outfits too. So I'm always looking into fashion as well. Like what's, like we were talking about before, what's trending, what's popping, what's happening. And then yeah, man, just try to, you know, new things. Because like in this country, you know, like when you travel and you see, there's way more things to do. Like,
100%.
like, you know,
And become more creative, right?
and I think a lot of people don't see that. So even being in the gym industry, like the way how to work out, the way how to, you know, the aesthetics of the gym. I notice like all the gyms are just all black.
Yes.
Yeah, now they're going to all
I go to
black.
the States,
Yeah.
yo, that is like it's like a jungle in there. People have colors. People are like, you know, I went to the one up in Miami, the famous one, the celebrity one, the Box R. Box R,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I
dope.
went there before all the celebrities went.
Wow.
And 2 Ferraris in the front, marble floor, statue. Like they put even a magnum over the statue, little details.
Yeah.
Flag that was kind of ripped from the soldiers.
Yeah.
Like it's
So there's
just-
like a whole theme going on.
that's, you know what I mean? So the thing is, I love that, but sometimes at my gym, I'm like, okay, I got to keep it to what's going to make money, what's business, maybe put my own little
100%.
twist to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, knowing my niche, what works for me. So it's just like little things like that. Like sometimes you got to just stick with that. Sometimes you get confused with like, oh, you want to go into something else. So it's a lot of that. And then that's it in general.
So
You know,
that's
just-
very interesting. So what would you say about the Toronto scene? 'Cause I know both of you guys are in the industry and you guys have to network, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole network scene in Toronto? And do you think that you need to relocate in order to find what you're looking for, or you can really build a base
That's helpful.
off this place. So I'll start with James, and then we'll go to D-Lo about like what's your thoughts in terms of the network scene in Toronto.
So even just like us being here, it's
Yeah.
like this is perfect. This is what Toronto should be like, you know, like, oh, you got this, you and then boom, right? But I always found that in Toronto and Canada, you really have to make it your own. You know, as much as people could be miserable or something else, you really got to make the happiness for you and like the environment, and you gotta make it. You know, you gotta really make it. And sometimes like, because I noticed like when I went to Miami, right, like a lot of people would think, oh, Miami's superficial, like yo, everyone's just. But in reality, they are like that, but they will still hell you up. You know, if you're in a closed group, they'll actually support you. Like, you know, I'll be walking down, out dressing fly, doing me, and then like, you know, next man be like, yo, your fit's fly, like, yo, have a good day, like, you know. My guy, like, yo, just bless up, like, you know.
Yeah,
be good.
yeah.
Miami's different though.
That, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even though
they're
like you
different,
might
though.
see like whatever. you
Toronto's
know,
Toronto's a bit more different in that sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's walking down saying, yo, you have a nice fit.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
Screwface
They're looking
capital,
into
like they
screw-
said.
That's what I mean, right? So I think
Nobody's doing that.
I think
there you
study
go.
the environment. Like, yo, are you in a creative environment? Right? Maybe there's a, you know, Miami or Colombia or even Japan is ahead of everything. So like, see, maybe, yo, maybe this place is not creative. I even was saying like, I noticed like even artists, right, music, right, they're going to the States just to make a statement, just to come back. So I don't know how this.
I don't feel it's that. I don't feel it's that. They're just trying to. I feel like really, it's like they're just trying to expand. You know? Because the city, honestly, if you want to be honest, man, the city doesn't really have much to really offer when it comes to music. You know what I mean? And with a lot. Well, it does when it comes to music.
But I would,
with
don't-
artists,
but not even stick to music. Go just like marketing wise, like because
Just networking in general.
just like say for example, we're just talking networking in general. Any opportunity in entertainment, like realistically, even sports, like the opportunity is very limited.
hey, it's and I'm sorry to say this, but it's not this. It's not here. It's that away. You know what I mean? So, and it's not people. I honestly feel, and I gotta go out to the States as well, and that's what I want to do for the music. But it's just because I feel like people try to, you know, they try to grow their wings and trying to see what the opportunity is. You know what I mean? Because there's not really much out here, as much as people say there is. But you could, if you look for it out here, you could do well out here as well. But I feel like what people have to do, normally how it goes, and it's not even just Canadian artists, other artists too, like they don't really get love in their city at first, you know.
Of course,
It's always after when they get the notoriety,
when they get
and
the notoriety,
the music
yeah.
starts going the direction it needs to go. You know what I mean? So, but then when they do appear back, then they get that love and stuff where it becomes weird and shit. You know what I mean? But honestly, the way how I really feel with this city, you could make it your own, just like what Broski was saying. You just gotta have the right people around you. Like, look at you guys. Like this is like a little unit right now. Like we could throw a little kickback and you know it'll be sick. Like, you know what I mean?
for
Like,
sure.
you know, you just gotta have the right people around you to make it your own type shit. And you could live nice over here with the people over here and the things going on over here.
But
You know?
even for like opportunities, because I know, you know, us going to say the States, for example, if we wanna get popping in the sense of entertainment, for example, right? We'd go to the States. We know they have more money out there, obviously,
That's
more marketing
correct.
dollars, more record labels, more people to sign you, whatever the case may be. There's more outlets, obviously. So that would be sensible for you to leave a small market, which is Toronto. Obviously, it's a small market compared to like LA, Miami, certain markets like that, New York. So us going down there, I think what happens is that now we offer something different. Like we offer something new and fresh. Just like if someone from New York or something comes here and starts kind of doing the style of Toronto
Same
and
shit.
mixing it in with their shit. Well, you better believe that's what Toronto guys are doing when they go to the States. They're mixing their shit with some of the States kind of influence and stuff like that. And that's even with the content we create. Like, you know, it's influences of people from America usually. Podcasting hasn't got big in Canada. It's got big in the U.S.
I could definitely count on
We're
my
following
finger.
everything we follow is like U.S. based.
Streaming right now.
Streaming, all
yeah.
these things.
agent with Kai Cenat and shit. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. All these people
Agent's
popping.
really from Canada. Like, you know what I mean?
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah.
Canadian. Yeah, Agent's Canadian, though.
Okay, so look, a
I
lot of
didn't even know that.
lot
Yeah, I didn't
of
know
guys
that.
go to the States to get a look, but I do think that you don't even need to go to the States as far as that. I think you can go like anywhere. To be honest, I
for
think
me,
some
it's
people
like a
go to
sense of out-branching, you know?
yeah,
You
it's a
just gotta-
sense of like going over to different places and seeing what else opportunities there. But the one thing I do notice though is that people think that going somewhere is gonna change their trajectory.
Yeah.
And I don't think it necessarily changes your trajectory. I think it gives you a new environment, but you still have to put in the same type of work.
do.
Yes.
You know what's a crazy thought if you that you talked about that? Because I went to Miami thinking I was gonna do more fitness there.
Yeah.
I went there. I'm like, yo, everybody's fit. You don't need my help because everyone's up to par. There's
Everyone's up to
standard,
par.
there's a standard there. So I'm like,
but,
wait.
but to each his own, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Because you
oversaturated.
could go
though,
over
that
there and
market.
still have gone and made it your own and still have people gravitate to you without everybody doing fitness. People just like you because you're the guy.
But they want to
You know
be
what I mean? Like-
something like that. You want to go into more shallow waters where it's not so much people doing the same thing, because then you're no longer brand new. Like when I
makes
went
it
over,
tougher.
it makes it tougher. So like when I was living in Asia, I was like the black sheep in the white herd. So everything's brand new to them. The style, how I carried myself, everything's brand new. So more opportunities open up for you because there's not so much competition. But when there's so much competition, you're just one of many. And nobody can recognize you. It's hard to tell you apart. It's hard for you to get like those network abilities and stuff of that sort.
Yo, why do I feel like that's Screwface? That's the Screwface. That's Toronto right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's Toronto.
No, really.
Yeah,
like,
real shit.
like really though.
No, real shit.
But at the end of the day, who's got put on here? Like, you got to think about it. Like, out of
That
all
too.
the people that we know, like, who's got put on truly organically from the city?
Not from the city.
Like, no one's got put on
Realist
here.
K. I don't know who
Well,
that
again,
is.
but
Yeah, who knows who that is?
Wait for me to wait for me.
oh,
You know that song?
that person from here?
Yeah, he's from Canada.
He's from here.
He's like,
Okay.
he's like a downtown kid, yo.
Okay,
Okay,
bro, he
okay.
probably has like a record or two. But what I'm trying to say is like, who's really got like put on from being here and staying here? Like, everyone eventually has to leave in order to make the leap.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm trying to say.
definitely,
Even
yeah.
the
Definitely,
weekend,
yeah,
the weekend's
definitely.
from here. He had to leave,
Yeah.
go to the States, make his leap. He was making
Bieber,
music.
Drake, all those
You
people.
know, a lot of soccer
Nah,
players
yeah.
too, athletes.
Drizzy.
And
Yeah.
as we're talking,
that's all the
whoever
time.
I was just talking about, same thing, because they have to leave and go do their thing too.
It's,
Yes.
it's not
So it's
happening
real
here.
shit. It's
you
not.
can start here.
Exactly.
And you can, but eventually, even the people that you're dealing with, they're gonna not be from here.
100%.
You're gonna be on the other side, right? You're gonna be going to
that's right.
stateside or somewhere else in order to keep in contact with them.
The soccer players, they went to MLS in the States.
Yeah.
And then they got drafted back to TFC.
You see what I
back
mean?
here.
Yeah, that's how ours works, right? That's how
'cause
ours
they,
works.
they don't have a Canadian soccer league.
We just
like,
don't
they
have the
but it's like
outlet.
We
low.
don't have the
it's not
facilities. We
developed,
don't have the
it's not fully-
facilities.
But I
We
guess,
don't have the
but I
proper
guess the
outlet.
bottom line is for anyone that's doing anything, like I guess advice to whoever's listening is that you have to go to the places where the success is and what you want to do. Because again,
definitely.
if you want to be, if you want to be the fastest runner, go to America or go to Jamaica. Like, don't
Yeah.
go to fucking Norway to go figure out how to sprint. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
no, real shit.
and it's no, because again, it's like if you want to make an entertainment, it's like realistically, like, don't sit in Toronto if that's your main hope. I'll be honest, because like if that's your main hope and you're betting it all here, is it the best gamble if there's so much other places that can have more opportunity for you?
That's
Like,
real
so
shit.
you do got to look at it that way, because at the end of the day, you have to think your life is a gamble, and the
Yes.
decisions you make is like you rolling dice, right? So you're rolling dice, hoping this place is the right place for me. This is where I'm gonna make it. This is where I'm gonna do my business and do whatever I need to do, build my life. But if you don't see that picture, you have to think then, okay, how am I gonna make the steps to get out of here and be successful somewhere else that fits my lifestyle? Because again, like I said, Toronto's one city. It doesn't fit
Yeah.
everyone's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Some people want to do like you said, fitness. Miami, perfect. Like, why am I in Toronto if I want to do fitness? I should be in Miami, like with the best of them, right? Like doing what I need to do. And then if I get popping there, I
Then
come
you
back to
kinda- yeah,
Toronto.
true.
Now all of a sudden, I'm this Miami guy that's coming back to Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm brand new. So as much as we complain about like, oh, like Toronto is like Screwface, but
notice when you leave Toronto, go somewhere, sit there for a bit, come back.
Yeah.
Now the love is back. Now
Yeah.
everyone loves you.
Yeah,
Everyone's
everyone
on
loves
you.
you.
You know,
Yo,
like,
where you been? Yo, I seen
Real
you
shit.
doing this, that, and this. But that's how Toronto is too. That's
That is,
the type
that
of
is.
people we
you
are.
see, I think in Toronto too, like if you switch up a different area or even a different city, they all move different too. So even me going to the run club, I'm
Yeah.
always downtown, and then I feel myself transforming to a downtown guy. I'm like, wait, yo, what's going on here? Then when I go back to my hood, like I'm not really hood, but whatever, St. Clair, in some way, different hood adequates in little ways, whatever, you know.
Toronto,
But I mean, there's ends that kind of meet in the middle, but whatever. I know, but
I feel like that's definitely true, bro.
you know,
Certain ends just bring out the certain.
that's what I'm
things.
saying.
For sure.
So I
Like,
started like noticing, like, wait, hold up.
different look.
And then like I would go to other ship, and then I would chill at Yorkville at the sushi restaurant, and I
That's a
see
whole
Ferrari in
different
the
vibe.
front,
Yeah, that's a whole
and I'm like,
different
wait, what's
vibe,
going
different
on
vibes
here?
in the
Like
city.
we're creating a habit, and now
Yes.
I go back to my my
So you're
ends.
breaking that cycle of you just being
Doing the
in the
same.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
You're
and
going
now,
to different spots.
now I'm feeling disgusted because yo, I just came back from,
yeah.
and it's like
Different
whoa,
world. It was a
whoa,
I like
whoa,
I like the
something-
fact we touched upon this
You
because
know,
that's some
because-
real Toronto shit. You know you're a Toronto kid if you you feel that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the different
You know?
areas. Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
like I'll be going downtown feeling like the shit. Like I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a sick night. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I'm out. It was a crazy night. I get back to the bees and I'm like, it's just calm. I'm like, there's nothing going
Yes,
on.
yeah.
There's
I'm telling
nothing
you.
to excite me while I'm here.
Quad
Like,
is
I'm
different
like,
from
holy
Scarborough. Scarborough's
yeah,
different
yeah,
from
shit,
Toronto.
yeah.
Toronto from North York
Yeah,
to the
very
very
different
bottom to
vibes.
Lakeshore.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
very different
you know,
vibe,
and you
brother.
just
Very
talk to the people and you just realize like, whoa, like how they moving, how they
different-
dress,
different
how they
world.
talk about money, how they talk about. I'm like, yo, it's like, you know, when you really get to
differences,
know,
yeah,
and
it's
I've
differences,
traveled
yeah.
and been to like solo event. I was like, whoa, like
But
you know, I can
do you
really-
think your environment shapes you? Like I
Oh,
want to
big time.
ask two of you guys. Like, do you think your environment shapes who you are? So therefore, if you stay in a certain environment, you'll remain how those people are in that environment, or if you leave the environment, like you can change and you can eventually
I
become
definitely
something
believe
else.
it shapes you, but you have to break that cycle of what it shapes you of. You know what I mean? Because like the other day, I was at Black Creek at my cousin's building, and it's like, yo, there was this youth that was like, not a youth, he's like my age, and he came outside, and they're like all talking about him, like get him a bottle too, you know he's gonna want some, like, or get him a drink too, you know he's gonna want some. And he came and he's like, but yo, he was like, yo, you know Felicia and Friday, bro?
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
was
the-
like
the-
straight up Felicia. He's like, you guys got weed you could give me, bro. You guys got
just
you
begging
got-
for shit.
Just like, and it just didn't look right. And I'm like, yo, when he walked away, I asked my cousin, I'm like, yo, how old is this cat, dog? And he's just like, oh, he's 27, bro. I'm like, bro, what?
Holy
Wow.
smoke.
You know what I mean? And I'm just
The
like,
way
yo,
his
I'm like,
mentality
but
is.
why is he like this? And he's just like, bro, he said, I just don't think he sees doesn't think he sees any opportunity outside of this place. And in my head, I'm just like, but there's so much outside of this place.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you do? Like, why is your head shaped of, like, that's all your...
Mentally, he's already has closed his mind to the
Exactly.
possibilities outside. So sometimes
Yep.
it's not even necessarily the neighborhood that holds you back. It's how you think mentally.
Exactly.
If you're trapped mentally, it doesn't matter where you go because your mentality
For
will still be
sure.
the same,
Yep.
right? And you'll run back to the same area that you came from.
All that bring me towards was that he was lazy, bro. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, shit, dog. I wasn't always the best with certain things, but just to be that certain type of way at this age, that's a no can do. You might be like mentally, like, I don't even mean to say that, but you might be mentally challenged if you can't figure something out for yourself at this age. You know what I mean?
That is true. I mean, it's tough though. Like certain people, like you said, their mentality, it stays with their environment. So it's not that they're mentally challenged, it's that they don't see a path. Like
Yeah.
you said, the guy said he didn't see the opportunity. They don't see the path. And it sounds crazy that they don't see the path, but the fact of the matter is it depends who they're idolizing, right?
Yeah,
It
for
depends
real.
who you follow.
for
Sometimes
real.
people's path is death. Can you imagine? Like people go and crash out. Like, what do you think their path is? Their path is like death and violence. Like they're going out killing or being killed. Like that's how they live their life. And you think about someone like that. Like, how do you live your life like that? That's insane.
I had a crazy one happen to me the other day in Scars. I'll show you guys that after. Trust me, bro. Bro, the city's just getting wild, bro.
Well, yeah. Well, to jump off the city topics, I mean, I want to talk about this whole Diddy situation, man. There's a lot going on in the
Diddler
scene.
has
The
made
Diddler
the
scene
news
again.
coverage once again.
Yeah,
Part 3.
Yeah, so basically what has happened for those listening, obviously Diddy's been in the news again. He's been caught, he got arrested actually under like federal charges, and some of the charges are sex trafficking, racketeering, which is like having a criminal organization that participates in like extortion, blackmailing, coercion, and he has all these type of charges basically. So what's your guys' thoughts on this whole Diddy situation, him getting charged, him being this big huge mogul that we've all watched and listened to, Bad Boy Records, who was there, obviously. You got guys like Biggie. You got guys like Mace. There's so much artists that came from that pocket of time in that era. But what's your thoughts in terms of seeing these big idols or people that say everyone tends to worship or tends to follow? What's your thoughts when you see the biggest of them starting to fall or starting to look more human or inhuman, like depending on how you look at it?
Mm-hmm.
This is it shapes me a whole different way because it lets me know, a lot of the things that I believe are true. Like, what I mean? I've always taught myself at a certain age not to idolize these people because somebody just like the same you and I, bleeds the same, just like you and I,
Yep.
has a lot of money. You know what I mean? And sometimes that doesn't necessarily make them a good person. Sometimes that doesn't make them a bad person. But one person shouldn't have way too much money. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just like the words of the wise. You know what I mean? Biblical times. You know what I mean? But when it comes to me, as I think about Diddy and shit, I'm just like, all the accusations that are brought up against him, everything is kind of really just like showing it itself.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do nothing. He doesn't have to do nothing more, It's kind of showing himself. So he's just trying to crawl out.
Yeah.
Everything just keeps sinking in on him, So it's going to be more crazy when all the accusations get unfolded and shit.
Absolutely.
Did we talk about like what the charges are? Did we talk about?
Yeah, the sex trafficking.
Well, he's in it for, so the indictments are racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. So there's a couple stuff that they have him on, and it's like a RICO charge. So they're trying to really slam the books on him, and he can do 15 years behind bars if he's like convicted of it, or even more.
Life. I thought it was life. I'll be real.
No,
with
it's
you.
not
That's a lot.
life. It's not life. It's 15 years behind bars and a maximum sentence of life in prison
sentence.
if
Okay, so they
found
could-
guilty. If he's found guilty, yes, life.
They could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that. But it's like right now they're saying that he could be potentially facing 15 years. And it's just kind of crazy because he was one of the pinnacles of just the African American community. Like if you look at top moguls when it comes to entertainment business, we're talking about P. Diddy, we're talking about Jay-Z. Those are like the two pillars, right?
Dr. Dre.
And Dr. Dre, exactly. But he's now kind of out of the scene, right? Where we're not really hearing much about him, but you constantly see Diddy and you constantly see Jay. I don't know what the ramifications of that will be, like in terms of Jay and his career, and are they gonna look into him and what he's got going on? Like,
Just snooping around.
just from association. Sometimes you're guilty by association or you get brought down. So
Big facts.
you got to be careful because now I'm hearing a lot of guys. So what the current theme is, people are asking other celebrities about the Diddy party because everyone's saying nothing better than the Diddy party. All right, now we're asking you about the Diddy party. So
Right.
how was the Diddy party? Like, well, I never went to that party. Like, I was at a Diddy party,
Yeah, you
but
did.
I didn't see that party. Now, but see, this is why I get confused. Because last time I checked, when you go to a party, it starts at 11:30, 12. You're done around 4 in the morning. So what party are you talking about? Where'd you go? Because if the party ends at 4 a.m., like, what other party could there be?
You know what I mean?
And then like a back door or something where it's like
and this is why I feel
the
like
real
this is-
Diddy party's in the back door. Like you got to go through the back
Well,
side.
all these
Nah,
artists
man.
are denying that they went to that Diddy
Yeah.
party, but it's like you
But
went
how's
to
that
the Diddy
possible?
party.
They know what's going on.
Of
That's
course.
that's what I'm trying
And
to say.
that's
like,
why they would have left
you know?
anyways.
Yes.
They would have known that, oh, I know what goes down in a Diddy party, but it's on the hush hush. Like no one's really, saying anything because Diddy's Diddy.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
like Diddy can ruin my career if I start saying
I feel like
something.
everybody knows what's going on and
Yes.
shit. Everybody's not foolish right now.
Yeah.
I feel like though, like it's gonna get crazy. I feel like watch a month or two, you're gonna see one celebrity, two
Somebody's
celebrities.
going down.
Somebody's gonna get.
There's gonna be a couple guys
You know what
going
I mean?
down for
Of
sure.
course, you know what I mean?
And they're putting a lot of memes about it too, right? And they're putting
Yeah,
a lot
some
of clips,
hilarious memes.
old
Oh,
clips
yeah.
of like some of the stuff that he was saying that was under speculation.
Oh, yeah,
you
the
know?
Justin
Training Day
Bieber
one,
clip.
Yeah,
Training
yeah.
Day one too.
but, oh,
Yeah,
man.
you seen the drinking champs, as they're called?
Yeah, drinking champs.
Yeah.
He's talking to Fabulous and
But he has
couple guys.
too many wild.
Yeah, it's too much
clips.
wild shit. He
Boy.
said.
Things are coming up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's all
everything's
real though.
coming
It's
up.
all gonna happen, man. Time's gonna prove itself with him. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of shady shit that he's gotten himself into, and I feel like you as a whole, you as a person, as a human, once you get yourself into an amount of shit that you know what I mean, you're not supposed to be into, you're not gonna be able to crawl out of it. You know what I mean?
I'll say this much. Like, say for example, like off of like Diddy himself, but like say for the people that attended, like the people that are say denying I never went to that Diddy party, I went to this one. Like, say those people, and say you went to the Diddy party, and say you didn't participate, but you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or not say the Diddy party, but just say generally speaking, say you went to a networking party and then some fuckery was happening, like where you're like, wait, this is not what I signed up for.
Well, you know what's going on.
But even if you know what's going on, like if you went to like any, like I said, networking situation and you seen some weird shit going on, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, or whatever the case may be, would you be inclined to say anything? Like, or you just remove yourself from the situation? Like, what would you, like in those situations, James, let me know your opinion, and D-Lo will give me his opinion. But like, if you see something that's out of pocket and you're in, say, a professional setting where people that are big, people that you look up to and stuff like that, how inclined are you to even reveal what happened, even if it's fuckery going on? You're there for opportunity. You're there for what you're there for. Would you even involve yourself in anything like outside of what you got going on?
I feel like if I was like a celebrity and everything, I have to make sure I have a good publicist to train me and shit for these situations, to just be like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Or not even go in the first place. I think there's some celebrities that are really good and calculated, like they know what they're doing, where they're going. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because when you're a celebrity, like,
It's still different.
when money plays and a whole bunch of other stuff, I think people are not even, they say the whole money changed people. And
Yeah.
so it's hard to say because you never been to these.
Never
crazy,
been to these crazy
So some
parties.
people try to like
You
not
never
to say,
know. You might be getting Rolexes.
You know, I won't say like,
Yeah,
I would
I'm
be,
trying to Rolex.
I'm trying to be like a good kid, but like, it's like
but
you're in
they
a
can get
different,
you.
but
That's what we're not thinking about the Diddy party.
Okay,
What's
perhaps
he
a
giving
couple
you?
hours.
yeah.
But you get what I mean? Like, you don't even
Yeah.
know what's happening at the Diddy parties. He
No, that's
dropping
right,
people
that's
right.
bags and Hermes and this and that. Like, you don't even know what's going on. So, like, it's kind of hard to even, like, put
crazy.
blame on people that maybe
Yeah.
knew of what was going on. Because at the end of the day, the onus is not, in my opinion, when someone's doing wrongdoing, they always say, like, don't be a bystanders as guilty as the person that didn't stop is just as
Yeah.
guilty. But I don't really believe that, like, to be fair, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yes, you never said anything, but the reason you never said anything is because the implications that comes with, right? It's just like someone doesn't say something to the bully, then tell the bully to stop bullying because they don't want their ass kicked.
Yes.
Like, why would I tell the bully to stop bullying you
Yeah.
so he can fight me now? Like, and I have to deal with the bully?
Yeah.
So you might not be ready to deal with the bully. So
Yeah.
you're just like, you know what? I'd rather just not say nothing.
I would try to be
Oh,
steps
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
That's what I would try to. If I
definitely,
was, I feel
Yeah.
like if I was, I'd try to be steps ahead. Like, yo, we're not going. We're not affiliated. Like, yo,
Yeah,
just
you're trying
don't
to
even, as much as like, yo, everybody's there.
Go
You're
in there, like, fuck it.
and like, yeah, I'll try to hire a good publicist because I don't, when
You don't wanna be involved.
if you were a big celebrity and people just coming, like, it's a whole process, right?
It's interesting because it's
you
a
don't do
networking environment too, though,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah.
meeting a
Yeah.
bunch of celebrities, so are you going to take the opportunity or not, right? Like, it's
And
kind of
that's
one of
another
those.
thing. And that's another thing I think people don't understand. When Diddy is like creme de la creme, like in the music industry. So
Yeah.
you have to understand, people want to rub shoulders with Diddy.
If you're any
know
or
what I mean?
anybody, trust me,
If
they're
you're,
there.
if you're trying to come
Every and
up in the
anyone.
game and you have an
Guaranteed.
opportunity to meet up with Diddy and pick his
Yeah.
brain and have a better understanding of how do I get this bag, you're gonna try and get it. So if this man's like, hey man,
Yeah, mind you,
why
you
don't you come down to the Diddy party?
He got caught
Hey,
with
man.
this guy got caught with
Oh, well.
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
You see the conversation with him and
Hey,
Fabulous. He was
Yeah,
like,
the one with
he's like,
Fabulous.
yo,
Yo, brother,
yeah. He's like, why you never really party with
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
he never
It's
really
because he
partied,
didn't.
man.
See, Fabulous stayed
Yeah,
away. He's
yeah,
like, yo,
Fabulous
I
said,
know where I'm at.
chill,
Like,
yeah.
yo, I know what's so that.
I know
see,
what
like,
you're up to, you know.
You know, so like,
he's
I just.
Fabulous, he never really potted with me. We didn't
He really party, like,
Diddy party.
yeah, he did. He's like, you party. He's like,
Let's go
"Bro,
party with me.
Man.
so that's I don't know.
Yeah, Diddy's crazy.
But that's
man.
you know, I don't know. I would try to be steps
Yeah,
ahead,
I
like
was doing
I
it.
try to,
Man,
you know, and I probably wouldn't get figured out when you're a celebrity,
Yo.
you know. So it's like,
But,
yeah.
but ultimately, like, are you under the impression like people that have power, like most of them, like are up to fuckery? Like, do we believe this?
I
Like, or
think
do we
yes.
like? Because
At
then
this-
I'll say this much: we tend to believe in the good in people,
Yes.
but we don't lean towards the bad unless they
Exactly.
prove it.
Yeah.
But like, why don't we just lean to the bad when it comes to like people that have money? Like, to be fair, like when you have this type of money where it's like they say "fuck you" money, you could technically do whatever you want. Like, you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and whether we label it good or whatever, they just look at it. Well, I could do that, so I'm gonna do that. Like,
Well-
you know, there's no questioning of should I, shouldn't I. It's like I'm my boss. I do what I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do.
Well, there's a saying where it's like power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's a thing that I think I took out of this. But I knew this from a while back. But I think in any power situation or dynamic that you see and people have a lot of money, they start having some weird tendencies or like weird things that they do because they're just bored. Like, you know what I mean? They start trying to
facts.
invent stuff, do different things, and be creative. And, you know, they're doing stuff, a lot of stuff behind closed doors. And then sometimes when you come up in those industries, in order for people to try and rub shoulders with other guys, they have to partake in those activities or even watch it. It's like, oh, this is how we get down over here.
Yeah.
And they have to just be like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they just,
like, you
they
gotta-
gotta just be there and be like, yeah, no. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? It just reminds me of if you go into a situation, right? You don't drink. But all the guys that you want to rub shoulders with are
Drink.
drinking.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna come in
If
there.
you're
Everyone
looking
has
for
a drink.
opportunity,
You're
you're
looking for
gonna
opportunity.
sip, yeah.
Everybody has a drink in their hand. Everyone's drinking. They're all having a good time, and you're just gonna stand there and not drink.
Yeah.
You're
Most people are gonna
You're
drink or pretend to drink.
Most
Like,
people
you know?
are gonna either pretend to drink or they are gonna drink. But I'll tell you one thing:
I'd
they're
say
not
most,
gonna have
I'd say
a
most
drink in their
smart
hand.
people. I'd
Yeah.
say most smart people, because a person that wouldn't like understand that social situation
Yes.
might just be like, no, I'm sticking to who
My
I
principles,
am and
yeah.
my principles. But to be fair, like a lot of people that like, especially if you want to, you know, want certain people to fuck with you, you got to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, whether it's good or bad, like you got to be down with what they got going on, because
Yeah.
they're looking at you like, man, who brought this guy? He doesn't want to drink. He
that
don't want
too,
to
right?
partake in
They're
this.
looking at you
It's-
weird.
And it's
That's
just like,
honest, though.
and it's even the thing about like the prostitution shit. Like for him, like they're saying like he's flying out guys or male prostitutes or whatever prostitutes to fuck and everything like that. But just think about it, like there's certain businesses where the guy will get, you know, fly out guys to come do a meeting and get them prostitutes, let them fuck the girls, and that's how they solidify the business. Like
And imagine the man turns it down.
that's like a handshake. That's like
Yeah.
you can't turn that down. Like I got you the best girl in town. Like you can't turn that down, because if you do, then we ain't doing business together.
Yeah, that's the real thing.
You're too clean for my
Yes.
taste.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So don't even accept it maybe in the
Yeah.
first place. That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Even,
Okay,
even,
yeah.
even for Diddy's party, he probably tested certain guys, certain girls. He probably just like, oh, are they willing to do this? Oh, they're not willing. So I'm not even gonna bring them to the after party. I already
Yeah.
know what they're on.
What
So
you're on now.
He knows not to bring every single person, because he knows not everyone's gonna be on that. But he probably throws little hints here and there.
So
and
that's
then
what they were
Even
saying. He was
Ciroc,
doing.
he
He was
could
having
throw in.
these after parties or like parties just in general. Or just
He's
in-
having this party, but he kind of have, I guess they would say, after party, which
They're
could
saying
last.
that's a special party
It's like
where
a
it's
special
like
party,
certain
but
people. It's just like
I'm thinking it's the same
Yeah.
party, but
But
Just a
when I
different
look
room.
at when I look at stuff like that, it's almost like if you're in some kind of country club, and it's like only certain people can come in, and they'll only let you in if you're down with what's going on. You know what I mean? There's like this secret code, and if you're not down with that secret code, you're not part of the country club. So you're not going to be part of all the business deals that's going on.
Yeah.
All the big business deals,
You're
not in it because you're too clean. Like
Too clean. You don't want to play the game
you don't
we're
want to play
playing.
the game like everybody else. Everybody's playing the game, but you want to sit there on the sidelines. I don't know what you are. Are you a Fed? Like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
what are we doing?
They got you
Is
got
this
you
an
got to
investigation
be
going on?
You got to
Yeah,
be willing to get dirty too, because they need to have dirt on you too to be around certain people. You can't be crystal clean.
No way.
And then everyone else is dirty.
No way.
Then you're around us, and
No
it's like
way.
you're clean. Everyone else is dirty. No. You got to get dirty too. So we're all in this together. If we're doing fuckery, we're all doing fuckery.
we're all doing
like,
it. So,
we're all
because the thing
involved.
is, you know what it is? It's also saving your own ass.
It does.
Because at the end of the day, if one guy goes down, another guy can't just come out and be like, "Oh, I knew what was going on. Yeah, I was actually there. I kind of seen the whole thing, but I didn't partake in this." See, that's what they're not gonna have. It's like you can't come out because you were part of it too. So,
and they said they had
it's-
tapes and stuff
it's
too.
Like,
so
we're all doing this. We're all gonna. If I go down, we're all going down. It's one of those situations. So, therefore, you know what that so what that actually does is strengthen bonds, because it's like, well, if he goes down and he reports it, then we all go down. So the other guys have to automatically defend me.
Yes,
Because we're all linked, right? We're all linked to each other because we all were partaking in this. So it's like we can't let one man down. But that's why you have to strengthen bonds in that sense. It's very important. But yeah, like that whole Diddy situation, it's a crazy situation, and it's gonna continue.
Hilarious, though. One thing
hilarious.
I'll say, the memes have been fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, the memes have been
are
killing
The
me.
memes are undefeated. The internet's undefeated. With the most serious of topics, the internet will make you laugh. That's one thing I like about the internet. It can make you laugh. It can give you a good laugh. If you're looking for a laugh and you're depressed, you go on Instagram, go on
Sucks for
TikTok.
him right now.
100%. It sucks for his whole family
It sucks for
because
his family,
his
mainly.
family gets branded.
He did what
too.
he did, so he has to reap what he sowed.
Yeah.
But his family, they don't, they don't deserve that type of criticism, because that sucks to be his son and all those people.
Son, his daughters.
Yeah, especially like
He has a lot of
his one
kids,
son's
too.
an artist too. Like
Have you
King,
guys ever
King
bought a
Combs.
Sean John t-shirt or a velour suit?
Of course, Sean
Yeah,
John.
right? Sean John, yeah,
back
for
in the
sure.
day.
Back in
Come
the day,
on,
yeah.
bro.
I
That's,
never bought a shirt, so
I had a shirt.
close.
You probably had the
I
velour.
think
It's
my
expensive,
father got
though.
me a shirt.
Yeah.
I think I had one of the tracksuits too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one
Well,
of
Sean
those,
John might still be operating. It doesn't say Diddy on it, so people
Yeah,
might,
exactly.
People might not key in. You know?
Yeah.
Actually, isn't Sean Diddy called? Maybe it says that Sean Diddy.
I will say
Combs.
this, Ciroc is good though.
Ciroc.
For real, always.
I like Ciroc.
I'll never
like
get
Ciroc?
off of that. I like Ciroc.
Ciroc's good. Ciroc's
I like
good.
Ciroc.
Yeah, no, I don't think everybody knows that he's associated with Ciroc. Ciroc is not his. No. He's just associated
He's just
with it.
associated with them.
Yeah,
so
he's
he
associated with them.
not,
He was
he
just
doesn't
like
own them. No.
You know what it is? He was the brand ambassador.
Yeah, he's like a brand ambassador.
So he's the face of like Ciroc, and he's pushing it because he has like a lot of cachet in certain communities and the urban community, and where people would like to buy bottles and stuff of that sort. That's where his expertise lays.
Yeah, it's
right?
not like
just like Dr. Dre. The
yeah.
Beats wasn't his. He was associated with the Beats. He built it up and everything. He had like
yeah,
getting paid a lot.
The Beats by Dr. Dre is marketing.
Yeah.
like the
Slap the
Beats.
name.
It's just like Beats by Dre, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, producer made headphones, like so they associated
They made the
them with
association, but he wasn't like the prime, owner of the Beats. So that's
For
what
any of,
people get
these,
confused.
any of these guys that own liquor company, even like
But even
with,
Jay Z
with
when
50
he
Cent,
even
Jay-Z
when,
would do something like
even when Brooklyn Nets when they came into the thing, people thought Jay Z owned the Brooklyn Nets. He was a minority owner. So that means you're not even a major shareholder of the whole.
Yeah, you don't got big decision
You didn't
making.
make big decisions. You're just like one of the small guys that you accept whatever happens.
They'll call
with
in
it.
on a meeting. You might be
Yeah. When they call a meeting, you pull up.
No. They don't even pull up for that.
No, they'll pull up for meetings for like minority.
No, the
movement of
majority. No, because you could be a minority owner. If I buy shares in Apple, that makes you a minority owner.
Yes,
You don't get that
yes.
say.
It's
It's
I
only
think in like ownership is different though, right? Like
Oh,
instead
possibly.
of shares, like
Yeah.
he had ownership percentage.
Okay, so
and
he had some
stake in the
ownership,
ownership. Yeah. He had
Yeah.
stake in the ownership, so a little bit different. He probably consider he's a
So
celebrity.
so he
too.
could probably sit at the meetings, but he doesn't get to make major decisions
No.
of where like Brooklyn Nets was gonna go. Hence why he gave it up. That's why he gave up his ownership afterwards.
Well,
Because of-
100%.
Because of that, what's the point? I'm out here marketing Brooklyn Nets,
And-
saying all this, and I ain't even really. I don't get no say over Brooklyn,
because he said he marketed so much for it to move from Jersey to
Yeah.
Brooklyn. So he's like, why wouldn't I buy like stake in it? Obviously, I'm gonna get so much money because we're moving it. So
Yeah.
now it's gonna be so poppy, new stadium, all this shit. He actually made a lot of money with that, man. Jay-Z is a guy that doesn't want to get dragged down this path.
Remember who was
though.
the first few players that came in the Brooklyn Nets? Do you remember?
The first few players?
Yeah, like when they first came out. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I have no clue. Like
But it
who
was
they-
crazy. It
I
was
just remember
like-
they tried to make the big three from Boston the
Yeah.
Nets. Like they tried to bring in
Yeah,
KG
but it was
and,
crazy. It was a crazy big deal.
and
Who
stuff
was-
of that nature. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. Off this topic, I wanted to ask a question that's not regarding like the whole Diddy case and stuff of that nature. This is more like on a relationship based question. We're not gonna like spend too much time on it because we're gonna be wrapping up soon. But I wanted to hear you guys input on: do you think a male and female can be truly platonic friends, like without any type of sexual activities happening? Could they actually be friends? Do you think it's possible? I'll start with James and then D-Lo.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's always gonna be iffy because you're in a relationship with someone after. It's like, what do you even? I don't know, man. It's
No, 'cause
weird.
like-
It's tough. I don't think so. No.
So wait, do you have any homegirls
No.
yourself? No.
But when you kind of do, it's almost like something's
Something.
happen-
So
something's
you feel
happening.
like
yeah,
something's
honestly.
happening. You say that.
Yeah,
It feels like
yes.
something's happening, or like you can't really
Yeah.
relate to them like a guy, right?
That's sort of it's one of those things like.
I want to
And
hear
then-
you answer this.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
it's
like
funny.
the guy has to be very like in a different kind of state too, right? Like
Yes.
sometimes if a guy is like religious or
Oh,
he's on
okay.
a like on a no fab,
yeah.
Okay.
and he's like on this like, yo, I actually just want to interact with
Yeah,
humans.
Okay.
Nah,
The man
trust
has
me,
to be
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So it has to
But
be
how
like a
would you-
special.
You know,
Okay,
but to have a
okay,
little bit of
okay, we'll get to
instinct
D-Lo's
and then
then.
like they to control their intuition or their like, you know, that's pretty tough, you know,
Okay.
as a regular, you know, but
But
I
find
feel
the
like
answer. Yeah. What would you
I
say?
feel like a man, you know, and it's always like, truthfully, it's like who's a little better looking, who's more attracted
Okay.
to who,
Okay,
and it
yeah,
becomes like it's just one of those like,
Okay.
yo, I know it's funny, but who's the uglier, who's the like
Yeah, no,
prettier?
100%.
That's
No,
what
no,
happens.
no,
That's
no, no.
people don't want to
That's the
say it,
dynamic.
Who's the
but
ugly and who's the
who's
better?
that?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because
That's the dynamic.
if the girl's like not that, like the guy won't, you know,
Yeah,
chase. He won't
bother.
chase.
Yeah,
he won't
But if the
chase.
girl's a little bit pretty and like,
That he might.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
he
But then
just might.
I
He
think
just,
the guy would refrain from the friendship because he'll be like, "This is not gonna be a friendship. Like I want to,
Yeah.
because he's gonna. A man's a man at the end of the day. He'll
Yeah.
sacrifice a friendship to try and get a relationship
Yeah.
or to try and get sex.
So-
He's gonna be like, I could do without your friendship. To be fair, because if I can't
100%.
get you the way I want you, maybe
There's no
friends is
point.
not
Yeah.
great. But
So,
Some
like-
people are biding their time, but let's
yeah,
let's
give
go
it to
with
D-Lo. What's your
on
thoughts,
it?
brother? You're smiling over there, man.
Oh man,
A lot of friends over there.
yo, it's
Yeah,
possible. It's possible.
You think it's
know?
possible?
I feel like if you have like a certain understanding, you know what I mean, with the other person, like if you guys been together and nothing's happened for years and shit, you guys have a certain respect, you know, where you know what I mean. But I don't know, it's kind of hard with my generation to kind of make that call, just because there's a lot of shit going on. Like you can't really trust a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean?
Okay, so put it this way. So yeah, I understand in the sense, like you said, if you're if you're friends with someone, like say you, D-Lo, you're friends with a chick, you're friends for 5 years and you never did anything together.
Yeah.
Say you went to like the same school or something, and then she happened maybe to go same gym as you or something, that you're just closely associated but you never seen each other or you never attempted anything. Say that.
Yeah,
Say you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
never attempted
Yeah.
anything. Because I suspect in any male to feel like if both of you are straight heterosexual, I believe that, you know, one person is more attracted to the other person, like, or one person has attraction where the other person might not have attraction, but there's always one side of it, or one person would sleep with the other person under certain circumstances.
Definitely.
But in that sense, for you, I understand, like you said, if
Definitely.
you had that respect with somebody for 5 years, you said it's not
Exactly.
issue. But you're saying for yourself personally.
I'm saying
But
for
if it-
myself,
But if
but
it
I'm-
came down to
yeah.
a woman that had like say a woman that you want to deal with or you want to take seriously, and she tells you, oh, like say you're talking to her and she's like, oh, I'm just on the phone with my homeboy, like let me call you back. Like if it's like she talks to her homeboy like she talked to her home girl, like what would you think of something of that nature? Like under your same thing, if they
And
just
she's
been
my-
friends and they haven't done nothing,
Right, but
and then you're trying to pursue her.
But this is my woman.
No, you're trying to pursue a woman, but this is her situation.
I've been in those scenarios,
Uh-huh.
and I never let it stop me. But after some time, when I actually solidified my spot, and me and her were together, I laid down my expectations, not rules. Expectations.
So what was
And
the
they didn't
expectation?
change. My expectations were that you can't be calling up guys and talking to all these guys anymore. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that I was jealous or anything. It was just that I felt like now that I'm in your life, I just want to have that respect to being the only guy that you look forward to talking to.
So that means
You know,
that
like,
you don't
you
believe
know
in
what
the
I mean?
platonic.
So you don't believe in the
I don't.
platonic friendship.
I don't, but I do. It's kind of hard with it because I mean, like, there's people that are not like myself. You know what I mean? And they respect boundaries and
Yeah,
they
okay.
do these things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I've seen it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they're normally different race, different ethnicity than my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Broski said, like somebody of a different background, more
Yeah.
strict background.
Yeah.
He's just head in his books. He's not
Yeah,
really
not
trying to,
really
you know
trying
what I
to
mean?
do all
Like,
of that, yeah.
Because you have to, like, one thing I realized, like, a lot with myself, because as soon as you got into the topic, I started smiling. Because me, I'm crazy. Like, I'm so hard, like, especially when I was young. Now I'm able to humble myself and relax with female friends and shit. But when I was younger, I thought everything was a catch. I thought everything was a play. I thought me meeting up with her and we're just smoking, having conversation was the play when
Yeah.
really it's
I
not.
think that is a
you know
big
what I
thing.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That
you
is
know
a
what I
big
mean?
thing.
Like,
It's a H, yeah.
there's other people out here that their mind isn't just on
Not on that, yeah.
sexuality and
Stuff, yeah.
thinking about these things. Like, you
Yeah.
know, they genuinely wanted to link up with you and have a chat or. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm half and half with it. It's kind of
Okay.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
what's
I-
up?
Okay, go
I have
ahead.
another
Say what
point.
you have to
So-
say.
That's why I really wanted to hear.
Yeah,
what you
we'll
have to
swing
say.
it back to.
Yeah,
We'll
my-
give our opinions.
You know, even traditionally, if you go way back, my parents
Mm,
been with each other for 30 to 40 years. They have no friends on the side. It's just
Mm-hmm. No.
just them, ride or die, you know? So if you think about it traditionally, like even old school, like, yo, they're 30, 40 years, they have nothing, because from what I've seen, like, they always had problems. Even if they go to the club and not even talking to other people, like, people just spread word, people just, you know, so they invade on that. But now I'm thinking, like, you know what? You could have a platonic, let's just say for networking. Right? Like, I'm never gonna make a move on that girl or nothing or everything. We're actually gonna make network and make moves. And then you have to, like, as a man, you have to switch it off and be like, yo, you're never gonna really think about that stuff. Yo, we're making moves.
Can I
Like, you
add
know
to
what I
that?
mean? So, like,
Yeah,
right?
that's a big. That's a one thing that I always like had to realize. It's like, yo, one thing too. Like, you know, when I was with Shorty, what if she had a coworker that is like, you know what I mean, that is a male friend and he works with her at work? What was I gonna do then? Like, there's a lot of things you could stop, but there's a lot of things you can't stop.
You're right.
You know
That
what I
is-
mean?
that's actually right.
And as long as that boundary and that respect is there, I don't really see nothing wrong with it. But then at the second time, at the same time too, it's just like you know what I mean? Broski, you said, like, you know, things were back in the day and shit, like, you know, with your parents and shit. But, like, things are very different now, like, you know what I mean, with the way how things go. Like, I was always, my girl's not, like, into the same shit I do, and any girl that I've been with is not into the same shit that I do. You know what I mean? Like, music-wise and stuff. But I always wondered, because I have people that have significant others as musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they're at these networking events, you might see them go mingle on with other people and stuff, and they respect though. They have that boundary. Like I have a homegirl, and I never knew she had a man all to this time. But I would always wonder. I'd always wonder why, like, because I'd super flirt with her all the time because she's gorgeous. I always flirt with her and be like, yo, da da da. And then I realized she had a man. You know what I mean? And then I noticed, and then that was why that respect factor was in. Like she wouldn't even flirt back, G. She would shut down that whole topic and just walk away. You would almost think like, you know what I mean? But she would show you like, you know what I mean? So it's honestly, it's it's a hit and miss with it.
It's definitely a hit and miss when it comes to something like that. I think the reality of it is that you can't control what friends people had prior to you. So I can't come in and lay down the law unless like that's my deal breaker, right? If that was a deal breaker of mine, then I'll lay down the law. But I think the biggest thing for me is that I'll try and figure out what the relationship is. So like I would figure out that real quick, and then if I felt like that's not the type of relationship I'm interested in you having with another guy, I'll tell you straight up. I'll be like, nah.
Broski always has the gems to say, dog. Right, Broski, yo,
Fuzzy vision in the building.
I'm thinking to myself, because honestly, that's really where you find out. Because real shit, Broski, at the time when I met the shorty I'm with, I was like, she's just so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't comfortable with her having guy friends.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you that.
you know,
but
it.
I was like, she's so gorgeous. I'm willing to be
I'm
willing to be
gonna
here,
deal
you know?
with it, exactly.
But then like as things progressed and shit, I didn't really have to say much to her. You know what I mean? Like I did, obviously, but I didn't have to. Like all those things broke away and she knew. You know what I mean? So I feel like if they respect you enough, they'll know how to move too also, like, you know what
exactly.
I mean?
And my biggest thing is too, like for any issue you have, I noticed one thing: you can never overcome things that you honestly dislike or that you cannot do, like deal with. So if you can't deal with certain shit, like say for example, if you're a jealous guy, because guys are jealous, so you have to know what your own characteristics are. If you're jealous, you know. If you're envious, you know. If you're have anger issues, you know.
Facts.
So I would say this much: don't put yourself in scenarios or any situation that you feel later on may cause you to be infuriated or may cause you to be like, man, I knew I should have never did that. Like, so I'd say that much.
Yeah,
like, if you have to contemplate about something that you know for yourself you don't really fuck with, just don't do it. Just don't deal with it.
No,
so I say there's certain circumstances where, yes, you're going to deal with it because maybe you understand the intricacies of it. You understand what's really in the relationship and why they have a close relationship. Because you never know why someone's close with somebody, right? Someone's parent could have died and they were there for them or whatever the case may be. But point of the matter is that if you accept certain things, accept it. If you don't accept it, I think don't even start it up because
like
you're gonna always have an issue.
Shit, I used to sit down and think like, yo, was I being a simp those times by like allowing myself for her to have you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I realized, no, you weren't being a simp, and you know what? You just don't, and you don't like friggin' her having guy friends, bro. So like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You are willing to try new shit.
That's what I mean. You're willing to try new shit
so,
sometimes, but don't always necessarily work out how you like it. But life's about learning and shit too. So sometimes you bump your head, and hopefully you learn. You don't bump your head twice in the same spot, bro.
There we go. There we go.
It.
And I think that's all we have on that topic. We're about to wrap it up now.
Any final thoughts? Or?
For me personally, when it comes to that,
yeah,
I would just honestly say you do it what you're comfortable with. And then again, when it comes to your woman having a male best friend and stuff, people are coming from different cultures, so they see friendship as different. So sometimes it is platonic. It has nothing to do with anything sexual. So I think you got to kind of understand that dynamic depending on the culture.
Big fact.
So that will kind of tell you where they stand. So again, it's your comfortability. If you're okay with it, then you deal with it. If you're not okay with it, let your partner know, or your girlfriend for that matters. Or apparently, partner means something else.
No, seriously, what do you think partner stands for? Quickly.
Partner means like, yo, partner means your girl, no?
What do you think
I
partner
would
mean? Hold
assume
on, hold
so.
on. What does partner mean
In
to
a
you?
wrestling match, like your partner.
No, but it's like
No, partner.
me and my partner. What do you assume?
No, that's an official thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think like
That's
a girl?
official. A partner.
That's not-
Yeah, yeah,
apparently
my
that's
partner,
not what
yeah.
it means
because
anymore.
someone saying that's like LGBTQ. They say partner. Someone told me this shit.
Apparently that's the new thing here, but we're gonna end it
we're
on
gonna
that
end it
note.
on-
This is Papa Normal
Yeah, it's a
Podcast
vibe.
with your boy
Yeah.
Sunny Frames,
Gang.
and we are out. Deuces.
Peace.
Peace.